The potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has sparked considerable discussion among fans and analysts alike. This matchup would represent an extraordinary challenge for both fighters, each of whom has dominated their respective weight classes. However, as exciting as the prospect of this fight is, it comes with many questions and uncertainties, especially regarding the effect of size differences, weight classes, and fight strategies. One of the main talking points is Terence Crawford's versatility in the ring. Crawford is known for his ability to fight from both orthodox and southpaw stances, a rare skill that allows him to adapt to any opponent's style. He is also capable of switching between various ranges, fighting at mid-range, close range, or even from the outside, depending on the circumstances. This adaptability has made him a highly skilled and dangerous fighter. His ability to move fluidly from one stance to another, combined with his proficiency in different fighting ranges, makes him an unpredictable and exciting competitor. Former world champion Roy Jones Jr. praised Crawford's ability to seamlessly switch between stances and range, advising him to stay composed, enjoy the experience, and focus on having a solid training camp. Jones emphasized that Crawford's success would depend on his natural skills, and he encouraged Crawford to remain calm and focused on being himself in the ring. Despite his undeniable skills, Crawford's potential matchup with Canelo Alvarez raises several concerns. Canelo, a fighter renowned for his exceptional power, will likely have an advantage in terms of size and strength, particularly at the 168-pound weight class. Crawford, who is primarily a welterweight and recently moved up to 154 pounds, would need to gain additional weight to compete at 168 pounds, which could affect his speed and overall performance. Many analysts have raised concerns about Crawford's ability to handle the added weight, especially considering that he would be moving up 2 weight classes to face a fighter as formidable as Canelo. Former world champion Amir Khan expressed doubts about Crawford's ability to overcome Canelo's power at 168 pounds, noting that while Crawford is a skilled and technically sound boxer, Canelo's recent improvements in his technical boxing skills make him a very dangerous opponent, especially at this weight. Khan also emphasized Canelo's continued dominance, pointing out his impressive performances against fighters like Dimitri Bivol and John Ryder. Khan's perspective is that while Crawford's size and strength are notable, Canelo remains a dominant and tough opponent capable of challenging anyone at 168 pounds. Jermell Charlo, a fellow elite boxer, raised similar concerns regarding Crawford's move to 168 pounds. He pointed out that gaining 14 pounds would not be easy for Crawford and could affect his speed and overall performance. The added weight might result in Crawford becoming slower, and his usual nimble footwork might suffer. Charlo acknowledged that it's difficult to predict how Crawford would adapt to this increased weight, but he maintained that Crawford's talent and boxing intelligence would be key factors in any success he could have in such a matchup. Others, like Danny Garcia, also noted the challenge posed by Canelo's size advantage at 168 pounds. Garcia praised both fighters, recognizing their elite-level skills, but emphasized that Canelo's sheer size would be a major factor in the fight. While the stylistic matchup between the two would be intriguing, Garcia stressed that it would be difficult for any fighter to overcome Canelo's physical advantage at this weight. In analyzing the potential fight, analysts like Adonis Wilkins pointed out that Crawford's jump to 168 pounds could slow him down, similar to how other fighters struggle with gaining weight. Wilkins compared the situation to Canelo's fight with Caleb Plant, where Canelo, despite facing a highly skilled opponent in Plant, eventually wore him down with his power. Wilkins predicted that if Crawford is unable to adjust to the weight gain, he could struggle in the later rounds. He believed that by the 10th round, Canelo's power would take control, and Crawford's stamina might begin to wane. This could be a deciding factor in the fight's outcome, as Canelo has proven time and time again that he is able to exert his dominance as the fight progresses, especially against opponents who may not have the same physical strength at higher weight classes. Boxing analyst and fighter Teofimo Lopez weighed in on the discussion by emphasizing that both Crawford and Canelo first need to handle their upcoming challenges before any potential fight can be seriously discussed. Lopez pointed out that in modern boxing, a fighter's reputation is largely defined by their most recent performances. With this in mind, Lopez stressed the importance of seeing how both fighters fare in their next bouts before making any predictions about their future matchup. He suggested that it would be prudent for both Crawford and Canelo to focus on their current fights before looking ahead to a potential showdown. This approach would allow for a clearer understanding of each fighter's current form and readiness for such a high-stakes contest. Jose Benavidez Jr., a former world title contender, expressed strong support for Terence Crawford, insisting that many people are overlooking his chances against Canelo Alvarez. While acknowledging Canelo's size and power advantages, Benavidez was confident that Crawford's sharp boxing IQ and tactical mindset would allow him to adjust to any situation in the ring. Benavidez also voiced frustration over his brother David Benavidez's inability to secure a fight with Canelo, but he remained optimistic that Crawford could make the fight an exciting one. According to Benavidez, Crawford's ability to switch stances and his unpredictable nature would make him a tough challenge for Canelo. He argued that many fighters already fear Canelo, giving him a psychological advantage before they even step into the ring. However, Crawford's mindset would be different. He would not be intimidated by Canelo's reputation and would focus on executing his own game plan. Benavidez believed that Crawford's high boxing IQ and adaptability would give him a fighting chance against the Mexican superstar. On the other hand, trainer Joel Diaz dismissed the idea that Crawford could easily defeat Canelo, pointing to the significant size difference between the two fighters. Diaz highlighted that Canelo's power is a game changer, and one punch from him could turn the fight in his favor. He argued that while Crawford has already moved up in weight from 147 to 154 pounds, jumping to 168 would be an even bigger challenge. Diaz pointed out that moving up 2 weight classes to fight a fighter like Canelo, who has a natural advantage at 168 pounds, is no small feat. He reminded fans that Canelo's power and strength at 168 pounds would be a major factor, citing how Canelo's power had been decisive in previous fights, including his dominant performance against Amir Khan. Diaz's point was that size matters, and in a fight like this, the bigger man Canelo could overwhelm the smaller Crawford. Blair Cobbs, a fighter with a close friendship with Terence Crawford, also weighed in on the potential matchup. Cobbs expressed his admiration for Crawford and his belief in his abilities, but he acknowledged the significant challenges Crawford would face against Canelo. Cobbs recognized that Canelo's durability and strength make him a tough opponent for anyone, especially at 168 pounds. While Cobbs hoped Crawford could pull off an upset, he also admitted that the obstacles Crawford must overcome in such a demanding fight are significant. Cobbs was uncertain about who would win the fight, admitting that it was difficult to make a clear prediction. He explained that while he has been a long-time supporter of Crawford, the size difference and Canelo's experience at higher weight classes made it hard for him to pick a definitive winner. Cobbs was hopeful but realistic, recognizing the challenges Crawford would face in trying to defeat Canelo. Brian Norman, another boxer, shared his thoughts on the fight by noting that it was difficult to choose a winner between two exceptional fighters. However, he drew parallels to the careers of legendary fighters like Roberto Duran and Shane Mosley, both of whom successfully moved up in weight and secured major victories. Norman believed that Crawford could follow a similar path and overcome the challenges of moving up to 168 pounds. He argued that if a smaller fighter like Duran could move up in weight and defeat a much larger opponent, there was no reason why Crawford couldn't do the same. With this in mind, Norman expressed his confidence in Crawford's ability to win, stating that he was going for Crawford in the potential matchup. Ultimately, the discussions surrounding a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are filled with varying opinions and perspectives. While some believe that Crawford's boxing IQ and adaptability could give him a chance against Canelo, others are concerned about the size difference and the challenges Crawford would face in adjusting to a higher weight class. The fight is undoubtedly an exciting prospect, and many fans and analysts are eagerly awaiting more clarity on how both fighters perform in their upcoming bouts. Whether Crawford can overcome the size and power advantage of Canelo remains to be seen, but the matchup promises to be a fascinating one, filled with intrigue and uncertainty. In the end, as with all great fights, only time will tell who will emerge victorious.